All right, hey there everybody. Welcome back to the Fiverr Talks YouTube channel. As always, my name is Joel Young, or as you might know me on the platform, user DJ Young. I'm a top-rated seller and one of Fiverr's all-time highest earners. But a little known fact about me is that I'm also a top-rated buyer. That's right, I've used Fiverr to purchase creative services thousands of times over, and I thought today I would make a video specifically for those of you that are utilizing Fiverr out there to purchase creative services. Because the truth is, the way a buyer acts within the process on the Fiverr platform has a lot to do with the end product or the end result that you get from hiring a freelancer to do something creative for you on the platform. I say that because over the years, I've seen difficulties with buyers derail projects that could have been great, just simply because a buyer either wasn't prepared or didn't know how to navigate things, was not great in their communication or their response times, and it put everything behind schedule, put extra pressure and stress on the situation, and didn't lead to the best possible end product. I'd like to save you from that. I would like to save any potential seller out there from that you're going to buy from. And I'd like to help you develop a strategy for being the best possible buyer on the platform so that when you use it, you're going to get great results. It's going to be efficient, it's going to be quick, and hopefully be affordable for you as you're growing your business. We all know that as we're growing business, we need partners and helpers, people to help us do things that we can't do on our own. And Fiverr's a great place to find those people for all sorts of services. And so hopefully these 6 tips that I'm going to give you today will allow you to be the best possible buyer on Fiverr. All right, let's get started. The first thing you should do if you're planning on purchasing someone's services on Fiverr is read their gig description. Now, when you go through and search for a service, you're going to see a bunch of video thumbnails along with a title that says, I will do this. This is the service I offer, and you can even watch their video. But before you purchase, you have to click through and go to what's called a gig page, where they offer their services or their gig to you. Below the video is a description, a written description of what they'll do, how they'll do it, all their policies, maybe their procedures, and their rates. Be sure to read this in its entirety before ever placing an order. Every single buyer on Fiverr should have all the details they need to make sure that they're hiring not just the right person, but a person whose terms they can agree with. It's difficult when a buyer clicks through, purchases something from a seller that they either don't offer, on a timeline that they don't offer, wanting details covered that they never said they would cover. You know, all these things that could be avoided if you simply read the gig description, looked at their rates, and understood all of those things. It's very important, and before you ever purchase anything, you should read the gig description. And that leads to the second point, which is you need to not only read the gig description, but understand all the rates and the policies of the person you're buying from. Make sure that you understand if you're asking for something with sensitive content and they have a policy against that content or working with that subject matter, don't place the order. Because if you do these things without understanding, it can lead to a cancellation for that seller, which is actually very damaging to their rating. Fiverr keeps very close track of those cancellation rates. And even though a seller can't tell you this, whether it's a mutual cancellation because the buyer made a mistake, sometimes people say they ordered by mistake, which I don't get because it takes multiple clicks to place an order. Whatever it is, it still hurts the seller. Even if it's the buyer's fault, there's no way to explain it away or take it out of the statistics that are kept track of. It is going to hurt the seller. So make sure that you understand their rates and their policies before you purchase. And I would encourage you, if you don't like someone's stated rates, move on to a different seller. Don't try to haggle with a seller. That never starts the relationship off on the right foot. Fiverr's a place that is built on the idea that you can offer your services by stating your rates. People can evaluate both your portfolio and your rates and say, this is the person I'd like to hire, click through and purchase those services. It is not a place that is designed for haggling and a lot of different back and forth on price. Sellers don't like that. And the reason they don't like it is because they work very hard to set their prices where they are and are trying to stick to them. But there's always temptation to try to keep that person from running away. And so there's always this tension, this difficulty when someone comes around asking for a discount. My advice, if you're trying to be a great buyer, go find somebody whose stated rates and policies and everything fit your budget, fit your needs, and purchase from them so that you can give them not only what they're asking for, but possibly even give them a tip at the end of the project if they do a great job. It's something that sets you up for success in dealing with this person in the future and helps you to get the best possible result. So read the gig description, understand their rates and policies, and don't haggle over price. And the third thing you should do if you want to be a great buyer on Fiverr is be prepared when you place your order. Meaning that when you actually hit the order button, you have everything organized and together, all the assets and materials that your freelancer is going to need to complete that project for you right there and ready to go, and you can include it in that initial message that you send over. That way, you're being fair to the seller, and they have all the time that they need to do the best they can possibly do for you on your project. Too often, buyers will send orders through and simply say, I'll get you all the information you need later today, or I'll get it to you tomorrow, or can I get this to you 3 or 4 days from now? Just trying to get into a person's queue so that they jump in the line. And that's not really how it should work. That puts a seller in a really difficult position, and it makes it difficult for them to keep things organized when they can't start on an order that's already been placed and is already counting down on them. The other thing I would suggest is don't constantly make changes to the submitted information in the middle of that project. Now, I know things sometimes change, but the hardest thing for a creative to deal with is when a buyer comes 2 or 3 days after they submitted their information and say, oh, there's been changes made, and now we have to change things. I hope you haven't started yet. But the truth is, most of the time they already have started, and they're going to have to redo work or explain to you why it's going to cost a little more because they're going to have to start from scratch now that you've changed things. That puts a buyer in a very difficult position. So before you place your order, make sure you have things organized, well put together. You can send everything in that first delivery message and not send amendments or changes or requests all the way through for them to stop what they're doing and start it over or change direction. Now, you also need to make sure that when your freelancer sends you messages about the project that you are timely in your responses. Because again, they're on a clock, they're on a timer. And if they send you a question for clarification, something that maybe they need to do the job properly, and it takes you 3 days to respond, they simply cannot stay to their stated times or time frames or promises for the project if it takes you that long to respond. Be prompt. Give them the courtesy that they are supposed to give you, which is responding hopefully within 24 hours. That's really a metric or a standard for all interaction on the platform, and I think it really helps things along. Fifth, this is a really important one. Do not send your seller consistent messages asking them, are you done yet? When will you be done? I really need this right now. Can I have this now? Can you bump me up for it? I know it's a 7-day delivery time, but can you do it in 3? Don't nag your seller over delivery times. They're doing the best they can to manage oftentimes multiple clients at the same time. They've given you a promised due date. As long as it's delivered within that time frame, be satisfied with it because that's what you're promised. That's what you agreed to when you purchased their services. So don't ask for or expect anything in front of that or beyond that because it's just not fair to unless you're willing to pay up for it. And many sellers do have fees or extras you can purchase to get your work done faster or to skip to the front of the line. And be courteous. And if you're going to ask for it sooner than the promised date, offer to compensate them for that inconvenience of having to put things aside and put you in the front of the line. And this is a big one. This is all the way at the end of the project. The last thing I want to tell you that will help you become a great buyer on Fiverr is if you have any feedback on the finished product, make sure you give it clearly, in an organized way, make it concise and direct. Do not provide a seller with vague feedback. Don't give them your emotional response. Give them tangible things to help change and do and fix so that they can get you the product that you want. They can improve what they've delivered to you on the next delivery. Don't say things like, oh, I absolutely hate this. that gives them nowhere to go. How could they improve it? They don't know what you hate about it. They don't know why you hate that. Don't say, well, this is just not what I expected. That's way too vague and general. You need to say, I'm not sure about the color palette that we used on this design, or I thought this piece of directions that I gave you, it wasn't really followed. Can we make it more like that and get a revision that way? All these things will help you to be the best possible buyer that you can be on the platform, and I believe it will help you to get the best possible results from all your projects that you order on Fiverr, and it will ultimately make people so much more excited to work with you the next time around, because it really is helpful to find freelancers and creatives that you can work with on a consistent basis, and Fiverr is a great place to find them. All right, that's all we have for today. I really hope you enjoyed these tips on how to become a great buyer on Fiverr. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel down below and leave me a comment. Let me know how this video helped you, or maybe if you're a buyer and you have other questions about the process, leave me a question. We'll make more videos for buyers in the future. It's all about helping you to use this platform to the best of its ability, to the best of your ability, to leverage it to help your business grow, to get things done, and help you continue to do what you do even better. So thanks for watching, and until next time, my name is Joel Young, and continue to get out there and do stuff, because the future favors the doers.